one dismissive look, until the commander-in-chief revealed who truly saved his life. The briefing room at Joint Base Andrews was quiet as Sergeant Maya Chen waited for her routine security check. Master Sergeant Morrison glanced at her badge with doubt. To him, she looked like any other junior soldier doing basic duties. He had no idea what was about to happen when the president himself walked through those doors. Morrison thought Chen was just another soldier playing it safe. Her quiet manner seemed like inexperience to him. But what he didn't know would shock everyone in that room. Behind her calm appearance was someone who had already saved the president's life once before. That dismissive look on Morrison's face said everything. He assumed she was avoiding real assignments. Little did he know, this sergeant had coordinated one of the most critical security operations in military history. Her quick thinking had stopped an attack that could have changed everything. Welcome to Silent Salute, where we honor the heroes whose greatest victories remain hidden. Where are you watching from? Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into this incredible story of courage that stunned an entire military base. Joint Base Andrews operated as the primary hub for presidential air transport and classified government movements, where military personnel maintained the highest security protocols while coordinating protection details that enabled safe transportation of America's most valuable assets during operations requiring unprecedented security coordination. Master Sergeant Morrison supervised security clearance processing with expertise earned through 2 decades of military police operations. His experience, including multiple deployments where his leadership had maintained base security during terrorist threats and insurgent attacks that tested his understanding of protective operations. Sergeant Chen, you've been assigned to ceremonial security duties at Andrews for 14 months without pursuing advanced protective specializations that would utilize whatever military experience you gained before this assignment. Are you planning to remain in ceremonial roles? Or do you have operational background that qualifies you for more demanding security positions requiring actual combat experience? Chen continued reviewing security protocols with precision learned from protection details where threat assessment meant survival during operations that required coordinating multiple security layers while maintaining situational awareness and attack pattern recognition that could prevent assassination attempts against classified government personnel. Master Sergeant, ceremonial security allows me to contribute to mission readiness while ensuring personnel receive proper protection protocols. These duties support operational security and national defense, and someone needs to ensure standards that prepare security professionals for protecting America's leadership under all conditions, including hostile territory and active threat environments. Staff Sergeant Michael Perimeter Jackson, recently assigned to Andrews from overseas deployment and eager to establish credibility within the competitive military security community, couldn't understand why someone with apparent protective competence would remain satisfied with ceremonial duties when operational assignments offered opportunities for real security work. Chen, I don't get why you seem content with ceremony protection when you could be pursuing high-value target assignments that support actual presidential security. These ceremonial positions are typically for personnel who can't handle operational pressure or threat assessment requiring real protective experience and tactical coordination under hostile conditions. Chen's response reflected understanding gained from classified operations where fundamental security principles enabled tactical success. Knowing that protection effectiveness required comprehensive tactical foundation that prepared security specialists for threat situations where vulnerability assessment and reaction time determine mission outcomes and principal survival under hostile conditions. Jackson, successful protection operations depend on solid tactical foundation that enables security teams to maintain coordination during threat situations. Whether you're directing counter-assault response or conducting ceremonial security, your protective contribution serves national defense objectives and supports mission accomplishment under all threat conditions. The speculation intensified when Presidential Protection Service liaison personnel noticed Chen's familiarity with advanced threat assessment procedures and high-value target coordination protocols that exceeded normal Andrews training, leading to discussions about her background and previous assignments that might explain her apparent overqualification for routine ceremonial security and installation protection duties. Colonel Patricia Shield Williams, whose own protective experience included multiple years coordinating presidential security details, organized informal evaluation designed to determine whether Chen's apparent expertise represented actual protection experience or exceptional tactical learning through training exposure to advanced security systems and threat neutralization procedures. Chen, if your previous assignments involved real presidential protection, you should be able to discuss advanced coordination techniques and threat assessment procedures that prepare security personnel for working with Secret Service and executive protection missions. We're curious about what kind of background leads someone to choose ceremonial duties over operational protective assignments. Chen recognized the questioning as natural professional curiosity rather than harassment, understanding that military security communities developed strong bonds based on shared protective experience, while maintaining appropriate skepticism about personnel whose backgrounds couldn't be verified through normal military channels and informal networking among protection specialists. The psychological pressure mounted when security personnel began questioning Chen's apparent career stagnation and speculating about service record issues that would explain her contentment with assignments that seemed inconsistent with her obvious tactical competence and professional bearing around advanced security equipment and threat assessment systems. Security Instructor Master Sergeant David Watchdog Thompson, whose career advancement had been facilitated by aggressive pursuit of challenging assignments and specialized protection training opportunities, joined speculation about Chen's motivations for accepting what appeared to be significant underemployment disguised as stable ceremonial assignment within military security structure. I think Chen might have clearance limitations that prevent her from handling operational protection assignments, so they placed her in ceremonies where she can't compromise security operations or endanger protected personnel. Nobody with real protective potential chooses ceremonial duties when they could be supporting actual presidential security and executive protection coordination. The rumors circulated throughout Andrews, with personnel increasingly treating Chen as someone who had failed to meet military security standards and was completing her service in positions requiring minimal operational responsibility while providing stable employment within the ceremonial community without participation in real protective missions. The morning that would expose Chen's hidden background began during high-level security briefing, when installation personnel received notification of unscheduled presidential visit requiring immediate protective coordination and threat assessment protocols that would test every security professional's capabilities under actual operational conditions. Senior Security Coordinator Colonel Kevin Fortress Davis was conducting final security sweep when he observed Chen's movement patterns and situational awareness that exceeded ceremonial standards, while her tactical positioning suggested extensive protection experience that transcended basic military security training and standard installation protection procedures. The critical moment arrived when Chen instinctively moved to establish overwatch position during preliminary security setup, her tactical awareness and threat scanning techniques immediately catching Colonel Davis's attention, while her protective instincts indicated specialized training and operational background that exceeded everyone present during the security preparation. What happened next became legendary throughout the military security community, as the president's early arrival through secured entrance created immediate transformation from routine ceremonial preparation to recognition of extraordinary protective service that had remained concealed during Chen's Andrews assignment. The presidential entourage moved through secured corridors while Secret Service agents maintained standard protective formation, but the president himself broke protocol by walking directly toward Chen with recognition that stunned every security professional present during what should have been routine ceremonial interaction. Sergeant Chen, the president announced with unmistakable recognition and profound gratitude, "I've been hoping to find you since that day in Afghanistan when your tactical expertise and split-second decision-making prevented what intelligence analysis later confirmed would have been a successful assassination attempt that changed everything." The silence that followed the president's recognition lasted several seconds as security personnel and ceremonial staff processed the realization that Chen's routine assignment had concealed protective service record and presidential security experience that exceeded virtually everyone present during the unscheduled visit, including most of the senior security staff. Colonel Williams, whose protection experience included interaction with Presidential Protection Detail during joint security operations, immediately understood the significance of presidential recognition while realizing that direct acknowledgement from the commander-in-chief indicated extraordinary protective service and operational achievements that explained Chen's tactical expertise and situational awareness. Direct presidential recognition represents the highest level of protective service acknowledgement and indicates security operations of national significance. When the president personally seeks out a protective specialist for gratitude, that recognition represents life-saving service under the most dangerous conditions imaginable. Chen realized that presidential recognition had revealed military background that she had been concealing through ceremonial assignment. Understanding that her Presidential Protection Detail service represented classified operations that would require verification through proper channels and security protocols that protected operational information and threat intelligence. Mr. President, my previous service with Presidential Protection Detail Alpha involved tactical coordination during your convoy operations in Afghanistan. That recognition honors the protective specialists who enabled mission success and the security professionals who didn't return from deployments where threat assessment meant survival for America's leadership under constant hostile surveillance. The investigation that followed began when Colonel Davis contacted Presidential Protection Service Command to verify Chen's credentials through official channels that maintained records of protection personnel and their operational assignments during classified security missions and executive protection operations. General James Guardian Rodriguez, Andrews Base Commander with extensive executive protection liaison experience, personally conducted verification of Chen's background and discovered classified service record that confirmed her Presidential Protection Detail qualification and tactical achievements during missions that remained highly classified due to national security sensitivity. Sergeant Chen's Presidential Protection Detail qualification is verified and her tactical security record is exceptional. Her service with protection units involved threat assessment during executive security missions that required the highest level of protective expertise under hostile surveillance and attack conditions. Her current assignment represents recovery assignment rather than operational limitation. The recognition ceremony that followed became a defining moment for entire Andrews installation, demonstrating how exceptional protection specialists often served in ceremonial roles while maintaining qualifications that exceeded most military personnel and could emerge when circumstances required acknowledgement of specialized security experience and tactical expertise. Sergeant Chen represents the caliber of tactical protection expertise that characterizes America's most critical security operations, General Rodriguez announced during base formation. Her choice to serve in ceremonial capacity while processing operational experience demonstrates the professionalism that honors Presidential Protection Service while contributing to military security education and training excellence. The Advanced Protection Program that Chen agreed to develop became lasting contribution to military education, combining her presidential security experience with tactical expertise to create instruction that prepared security personnel for threat situations requiring combat-tested procedures and executive protection coordination under hostile conditions. Her presidential protection background transformed Andrews' security training procedures while providing opportunities for students to learn tactical techniques from combat-proven Presidential Protection Detail specialists whose experience exceeded conventional military training and represented operational effectiveness under the most dangerous security conditions. Master Sergeant Morrison, recognizing that his assessment of Chen's potential had been based on incomplete understanding of her presidential protection background and tactical security achievements, approached her with professional respect and appreciation for qualifications that exceeded his own extensive military experience. Sergeant Chen, I apologize for not recognizing your Presidential Protection Detail qualification and tactical security background earlier. Your credentials explain your exceptional protective competence and situational awareness that exceeded ceremonial requirements, while concealing extraordinary operational expertise earned through the most demanding security operations. Chen used her recognition to establish tactical security training programs that combined presidential protection experience with military education, creating learning opportunities that prepared security personnel for operational situations requiring specialized knowledge of executive protection coordination and threat assessment procedures under hostile surveillance. The most important lesson from presidential protection, Chen explained during tactical seminars that became standard throughout Andrews, is that threat assessment requires immediate tactical response and absolute precision under extreme pressure. Whether you're coordinating counter-assault teams or directing perimeter security, American leadership depends on perfect protective coordination and tactical expertise when every movement might be monitored by hostile forces. The ceremonial assignment had provided Chun with opportunity to serve while processing operational experiences that had tested her limits, demonstrating that exceptional protection specialists could contribute effectively in ceremonial roles while maintaining capabilities that exceeded normal military standards and specialized tactical requirements for the most demanding security operations. Years later, when Master Sergeant Chun returned to Presidential Protection Detail operations while maintaining her security expertise, her story continued inspiring protection personnel who understood that true tactical security professionals often served without recognition while managing classified experiences that had challenged their understanding of service under hostile surveillance. Her example reminded everyone that in military security, as in all protective operations, the most critical expertise often belonged to personnel whose achievements exceeded their current assignments, and that sometimes the soldiers who seemed most ordinary were those whose classified accomplishments had been earned through missions where perfect threat assessment meant the difference between successful protection and losing America's most valuable leadership. The moment when the president himself walked through those doors had lasted only minutes, but its impact continued for years, demonstrating that true protection excellence often remained hidden until circumstances exposed capabilities that transformed understanding of service dedication and professional competence that exceeded normal military expectations and operational requirements. Master Sergeant Morrison never smirked at another soldier's badge again, understanding that in protective service, the most unassuming personnel often carried the heaviest classified burdens while their tactical expertise remained concealed behind routine assignments that masked extraordinary achievements earned through missions where American leadership survival depended on split-second decisions under hostile surveillance. This story was brought to you by Silent. Salute. Before we leave you today, here's our question. Have you ever discovered that someone's quiet service concealed extraordinary protective qualifications that completely changed your perspective about their true capabilities and security experience? Have you worked alongside personnel whose specialized background remained hidden while they served in positions that seemed inconsistent with their obvious expertise and protective credentials? Tell us in the comments about moments when hidden security qualifications were revealed through unexpected recognition and transformed your understanding of someone's true service record and protective achievements. And if you believe that the most effective protection specialists are often those whose vigilance prevented attacks that never made headlines because their tactical expertise eliminated threats before they materialized, hit that subscribe button to support our channel's mission of honoring those whose classified service protected democracy through tactical expertise that saved lives when perfect threat assessment meant survival for America's leadership under hostile surveillance. Nobody questions Chen's qualifications anymore. Not after watching the president himself walk through those doors to thank the woman whose split-second tactical decision had prevented an assassination attempt that would have changed American history forever.